Small Business Grants, Local Initiative Support Corporation. Resolution 230463, Ernst and Young Management of ARPA Funds. Resolution 230470, ARPA Funds Allocation for the Northland Reinvestment Corporation. Resolution 230478, Burton Chevrolet Replacement Vehicles. Resolution 23477, electrical resolution that do not appear on the agenda, but is in our package. Resolution 230479, the contract for Eastern Asphalt Resurfacing of city parking lots. Resolution 230480, contracts for nationwide construction group installation of ballers in city parks. Resolution 240000, assistance for city residents foreclosures and possible evictions. Resolution 240004, Saginaw Paving Company paving of roads. Resolution 240005, J&E Tree Service, additional tree removals and trimming. Resolution 240006, JB Tree and Yard Services, additional tree removals and trimming. Resolution 240007, block safety, public safety surveillance cameras. Resolution 240008, Rawhorn electrical intersection upgrades, emergency knockdowns. Last one is resolution 240009, Weinstein electrical additional electrical service with any separation.
Point of information. Does the speaker know that 230477 should be included in? Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Thank you. There's support. All right. Are there any separations?
Resolution 230445, 230462. Oh, sure.
Okay.
So 230445, 230462. 230445. The first page. On page 4, 230462. 230463. 230470. And that will be WL.
Are there any other separations?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Murphy.
I would like to separate 240000, assistance for city of Flint residents foreclosed and possible evictions.
Do you have any others?
240002, second supplement to Carolina Water Authority Finance.
Oh, no, it didn't, sorry.
Financing contract.
Any other separations? Yes, Mr. Chef.
I would like to separate 240007.
And Madam Chair, when she's finished.
Ms., is there anything else, Ms. Bishop? Ms. Burns, did you have anything for that?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And then, I also would like to separate 230-479 and 230-480.
Okay, so this is the consent agenda, 240, I want to separate 240003. I missed that one. Okay, 003. It's on page 3. So the consent agenda consists of 240004. 240005, 240006, 24008, and 24000
With that lower, the, payment amount that the city of Flint has contributed.
So, what, as part of the agreement, we can only refi over the same term. So if we've got 20 years left, we can only refinance for 20 years, and we have to refinance and pay a lot back. It still has to be a smooth, level pay, and I can't change the terms. So if, as example, if we don't do this refi until halfway through the year,
The payment that you guys are paying now towards this, what is it on a monthly basis? Y'all pay monthly, quarterly, or yearly?
we basically with these types of loans, you pay principal and interest. You pay principal one time a year and interest every 6 months. So right now,
Well, this, my other question to that part is, if you refinance this and get approved, wouldn't it bring down the monthly payment that you guys are paying now?
well, we don't pay a monthly payment. We pay a principal interest. In one month, 6 months later, we pay principal and interest. So it's two payments.
Y'all pay twice a year.
Yeah. So right now, Carrick County's paying $15.2 million a year over the next 20 years, and this would give us a reduction.
Madam Chair, yeah, he can proceed on my time.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We're just pushing it down the line.
Yeah. So overall, it's anticipated to be a savings of 20 to 23 million over 20 years. So again, it's spread out.
Okay. All right.
Any other?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I'd actually like to make a motion to send this to special affairs so that we can have more time to look at this and then they can come back and answer questions in case any of our colleagues that are missing have questions.
There's a motion on the floor to send this. Sorry. There's a motion on the floor to send this to special affairs. Is there support?
Support.
Okay. It's one round of 3 minutes. Anyone would like to speak on this motion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Again, and I can just restate the reasoning, maybe really briefly. I think that, rather than us make some sort of decision to send this to council tonight, we might need to take a look at this a little bit more in depth, because I see my colleague has a lot of questions, and some of them, we would probably benefit more from talking to you about the financial scope of this. And so I just want to make sure also the colleagues that are not here have an opportunity to lay their eyes on this. And in case they have any questions, we can certainly invite them back to speak on this in special affairs so that we can address this again.
Is there anyone else who would like to address this issue?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Murphy.
Do you guys, have a card that you can give all of us with an email contact, just in case we have some questions for you, or my colleague that's not here, we can put it in their box. And if we have questions, we can, email it to you to have ready for special affairs. I think that would be fair.
I could do that, but I do believe your financial administration and attorney's office have been involved in the development of this process. I prefer you to get their answers because I may be biased. So.
Well, thank you. That'd be fine. Through you to the finance director, could you approach the podium? Is it a copy of this agreement or this made available to the public?
We can do that, yes, sir.
Say that again.
Yes, we can do that.
I would like to make sure that the public get to be able to see this, or you guys, can y'all make a copy of this and put it in the back so the public can also have a copy of this financial plan, just in case they got some questions that they want to come back Monday and ask for special affairs. And also, can you give us your email address so that we can contact you or any of our colleagues that's not here, or those that's here, or the public may want to contact you? Can you give your email?
Sure, it's PMOOP, yes, and Philip, MOORE at cityoflint.com.
Okay. So what we'll do, in all due respect of the biased young man that just got done speaking, if we have any questions or concerns dealing with this right here, $23 million is a lot of savings for the whole Genesee County. I really wasn't in agreement with the whole, to be honest, with the KWA versus Glenwood. I think it was some BS, but we here. So now that we in this doodle, we just got to figure out how we will get ourselves up out of it. And $23 million is a good savings. So I might be biased with y'all to support it just for the $23 million. I wish we can get out of the contract.
That's right.
But either here or there, I'll be emailing you if I have any questions. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? I do have a point. I'm going to vote to send it to special affairs, and that's because without a discussion there, we will not have the votes at council to pass it. And it will be bouncing back and forth, so let's go ahead and do that. I did learn about this plan in the summer, and I am backing this because it is a big financial savings to the entire county, not just the city. The city we don't make a payment on these bonds, do we?
We make a payment to KWA. We don't pay directly for the bond. We pay it to the authority.
And then my understanding is that we got money back from that? We don't, we pay it.
We get credit.
We get credit, okay. So, but the savings is significant, and I'm not in favor of going to Glenwood. We're paying we're at the farthest end of the pipeline, so we pay the highest prices. And so I'm not in favor of Glenwood at all. I felt it was not economically feasible to go with Glenwood. But when I met with them, it was bigger savings back in the summer. Interest rates have gone up, right? So it's important to get this. What's your point?
Do you, just to clarify my statement in the not being in favor of Glenwood, I wasn't in favor of, let me be more specific, with the emergency manager coming in here and effing us up.
I agree with that 100%.
Yes.
That's exactly where my point came from. It got us into all the water crisis issue and stuff. But, so I am in favor of this just because of this cost savings itself. But I do think that the rest of the members of the council should be here to discuss this. I didn't know they weren't going to be here, or else I might have suggested that you not come tonight. I've got 1 minute left. Is there, and on my time, is there anything that you would like to bring forward in that 1 minute that you think that we should know about now? Okay. All right, thank you very much. So that is my time, thank you. This is the vote to send, 24002 to special affairs.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Bird,
No.
Ms. Shan,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis.
Yes.
The vote is 4 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 4 yes, 1 no, that motion fails. All right, go ahead. We're still in the first round of discussion.
I'll make a motion to move this to the
Miss-
next body.
We're not done with the first round yet.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, 22. Okay, so is there any other discussion in the first round? Okay, go ahead. Second round,
yes.
go ahead.
I would like to make a motion to move resolution 240002, second supplemental paragraph, water control financing contract, back to finance.
To keep it in finance?
Keep it in finance.
Okay. There's been a motion on the floor, to keep resolution 240002 in finance. One round of discussion. Go ahead. Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I see my colleague, in the sixth ward, Councilwoman Burns, voted against it. So, I'm not sure what her questions were. She not think the special affairs ought to support her and, whatever she may be thinking to, take this back to finance so that we can get some, questions through you to, any gentleman from, the KWA, is this time sensitive?
It's time sensitive in the fact that every month we're collecting debt, or interest is building. So every month that goes by, I can't refinance that chunk of money. So each month, there's a chunk of money that is lost, I've got to pay at the current interest rate. So there is no magic requirement to get this done, but each month we go, we have less money to refi, which means I have less savings to potentially earn.
So my question to you is, how long did y'all sit on this for a minute, or and give it to us at the last minute, or is we at the beginning, preliminary stages of y'all trying to negotiate this? Because what I don't want to see happen is our backs be up against the wall, and we have been in all situations, just as in that with the ARPA funds. So I don't want to see our backs against the wall, and then we got,
Understand?
we got a time frame, so that's what I was asking.
Yeah, so, yeah, the timeframe is the Garrett County board, you can't do this before 10 years is up, so they did it in August of this year, or August of 2023, and then it had to go to Genesee County, which took a couple months, and now it's the city council's turn. So we're in a progression of order, but all I'm saying is there's $1 million a month that can't be refined every month it goes on. So it's not under high pressure, but yeah, the sooner the better, but there is no back against the wall.
Did the county commissioners have to approve this?
Yes, they did.
They already did it?
Yes.
Okay, when did they do
I believe it was, late October, 1st of November.
Oh my. So they did it in October. And then after that, you guys were on y'all way coming this way, or y'all?
Yeah, then we began the process with the city administration to get it in front of council.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
Thank you. I will not be supporting this. We have 5 years here to do the business. We vote up, vote down. It's already been on record county. And this is where, number one, I think that my colleagues need to make sure if we all want to be respected, we need to make sure we respect each other. My colleagues who left and called me a devil and a demon all night long. And so I'm here to do business. The county's already approved it. I have read it. I think it's time for 5 of us. We're going to vote yes, vote no. I do know 2 of my colleagues are out with the flu, and I hope that I'm not coming down with it either, but we need to take care of the business. So I will not be supporting sending back to any committee. I'm here to do work, and I don't feel well, and I'm here. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any other discussion?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
thank you. That was the most accurate statement I've heard. If we're here to do the business, let's get it done here. Let's get it done now. Because right now, this is gonna die. And if we have been tough, we are trying to present an opportunity for the absent colleagues to chime in. At first on Monday in Special Affairs, our colleagues were voting no. And we're giving an opportunity for our colleagues that are sick to chime in at the next finance leadership voting no. The way the sick board votes, the sick board votes, but we have to make it make sense. You can't say that you're here to do the work, and then you say you vote no to kill the work.
What's your point?
I mean, this is y'all favorite rule, 43.21. She knows gonna die. She don't speak to people's motives.
That is,
So can't do that. That's y'all.
that is correct. You can't speak to people's feelings. Go ahead.
Okay, so request for information.
What's your request?
So my request is to you, Madam Chair. So, if we don't send it to any committee or send it to council, where does it go?
I will defer that question to the Madam Clerk.
No.
And I always speak to precedents. If the 2 motions fail, then it will be considered that it has basically died.
Could you speak up a little bit? Did you say dead?
Yes, and that you would have to bring it back in another form or 30 days in the same form.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. So back to my point. So if we vote it down, and if we don't send it to any committee to have further discussion so our absent colleagues can chime in, this will die.
Request for information.
What's your request?
What if we vote yes? We have 5 people here.
Hey, there you go. Now we're gonna do it.
But she just said she was voting no. Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Mitchell, he's out of order. He's out of order. And he knows he's out of order.
What?
This is real apparent what's happening here. We can't double talk. Either we're gonna send it to a committee for further discussion so we can make sure that we're voting in the best interest of our residents, or we can kill it and we can move on and we can accept a higher interest rate and not get this $20 million discount and make sure our colleagues chime in. This is embarrassing. You can't say you're gonna vote no and then say I'm speaking to people's intentions. I'm speaking to what is said from our elected seats. So
Request for
What's your
information.
request?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm saying I'm not going to go send it to a committee. I'm going to send it to council. That's what I'm doing. So you're misquoting me. You're speaking to my motives incorrectly. I'm voting to send it to council. That's why we have a committee. You know how this goes.
thank you, Ms. Burns. So I will go ahead and stop talking. And are we on the motion to send it to council at this time?
No, the motion to keep it in finance.
Okay, well, very well. I guess we will discuss it in council since our colleague wants to send it. Thank you for the clarity, Ms. Burns. Yeah, that's my time. Move on.
All right, anyone else on this motion to keep it in finance? Hearing none, this is the vote to keep resolution 240002 in finance.
Ms. Priestley?
No.
Ms. Burns?
No.
Ms. Shan?
No.
Ms. Lewis?
No.
Mr. Murphy?
No.
Vote is 0 yes, 5 no.
Vote is 0 yes, 5 no. Now we're back to the discussion on second round discussion to send to council. Is there any other discussion in the second round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
Thank you. As my colleague misquoted me incorrectly to make an invalid point, I'm sending this, number one, we know that paying that debt. It's ridiculous. So it's been at the county. It's not as if we didn't know this was going to come up. I believe we have been ever done, vote up, vote down, you can't abstain, which you can, but you have to stay quiet. So we're here to do the business. And so I'm here, and while I'm here, I don't feel well. My colleague to the right, and then Mother Kirk, they both have the flu, and some of the other ones have the flu. So while we're here, I'm gonna take care of the business. But one thing we need to make sure is when we're quoting with colleagues and speaking to the motion, I was not going to keep it in committee. They're here, it's frigid weather, vote up, vote down. It only takes 5 to pass it, and move it on to council. So it goes from this committee, it'll go to council. So we only have 5, so it's not any room for error. If we were trying to get this passed. And my absent colleagues, I do know that generally they watch these meetings. So it's not as if they're unaware. They everybody watches these meetings. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, for some, so they're watching, they're well aware of what's going on. So when they come, hopefully they're feeling better on Monday when we have our meeting, then they can make a decision that, an informed decision. You don't have to be here in your seat to know what's going on. And so I know that they're watching. I know for a fact they're watching, because they always do. So I don't want to delay it, because we have a lot of things on these agendas, and we keep delaying items which are on the agenda, and I don't want to delay it. So I appreciate the gentleman coming and explaining, and I'm going to be voting yes to send it to council so that we can get some business done and not delay, because it's far too often my colleagues are breaking the form, but then they're going to try to call me on, I didn't want to get out of here with that stuff. Yeah, breaking the form, not calling meetings to order, not showing up for meetings. I show up. I'm showing up to do the business, and I appreciate you gentlemen coming. At this time, the county has done their due process. They have passed it, and now it's on to the city to do their part of the business. So I will be voting to send this to council, and then hopefully my colleagues will be feeling much better and not sick, so we can finish the business of the city. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Just briefly, just to state, it's not going to be germane to this issue, but it was because of the illness. Having been ill over New Year's, I can understand that. Go ahead.
I thought the chair speak last.
Oh, I am so sorry. I thought that was the last one. I am so sorry. I was just thinking I wanted to address that. I was sick, and I was accused of not being here because of stuff. So, yep. So, anyways, you're right. All right. So let's go ahead and second round. We've got Ms. Burns. No, we are in the second round. Yes, Ms. Burns and Mr. Murphy have spoken. Is there any person who'd like to address this in the second round?
I will really briefly.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So, yes, I'm glad to hear that our colleagues want to send this to council. And so we won't stall the business of the city. And furthermore, I really appreciate the fact that our colleague respects people's illness, because I know when we had our last meeting, our colleague in the A board was calling colleagues lazy and saying how people were not showing up to meetings. So I'm glad that we and them have an understanding.
Which point?
Madam Chair, she's not being germane. Yeah, because our colleague in the A board is not here, and his illness of having a stroke was mentioned at that time. So tell the whole story. Please, can you call her or would stand germane? He's not even here.
Stay more germane than I was, please.
Understand and have the same respect and consideration of other. How people are trying. That's important, because whenever we hit this microphone, we need to stick to the resolutions. I'm not at home with people. If they say they're sick, they're sick. We can just wish them well. But I will not tell and talk about other people being lazy or anything of that nature. So again, I'm happy that we're going to send this to council. I would have preferred for us to stop it by special affairs so we can hash out any more questions or comments and stuff before we actually send it to council, because at council is a place where we vote. Our council meetings don't have to last 4, 5, 25 hours. Council is when we come and we voted yea or nay, because we already did all this digging during the committee work. So anyway, so I'm excited that we are moving and it's not going to die tonight. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, go ahead, roll call vote. Send this to resolution 23002, 24002 to council.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Shan?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 5 yes, 0 no, that will be sent to council. The next resolution is
All right, fellas.
24002.
Keep coming back.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I would like to send resolutions, 230445, 230462.
Madam Chair, we separated 2400003.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I did.
didn't, sorry.
I separated it.
All right, sorry, Madam Chair.
I will entertain a motion for 2400003.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
I move to send resolution 240003 to council.
It's been moved, is there support? It's been moved and properly seconded to send 2400003 to council. Is there any discussion on the first one? Any discussion? Seeing none, I will. Mr. Moore, did you receive my email?
I did, but I've been at meetings all day, and I haven't been able to respond to it yet.
Okay, for those people who are not aware of my email, I asked we are adding $149,000 to the general fund for additional employees for custodians. But we have a line item for contract services or service agreements for that. Why are we not transferring the unused portion of that to this budget amendment?
There are a couple of reasons. First of all, we anticipate one more invoice from the contract that we have. And we don't know what that dollar amount is yet, so we don't know how much money we have left in that particular line item. The second reason is that while there is money there, it's not going to be enough money. It's more expensive to bring it in-house, but by bringing it in-house, we have a lot more control, and we believe that the quality of the service, the level of service we're receiving is much better.
I know there's been a lot of discussions about that, and so that was my big question about that. So basically, we'll just leave that money in that account
Right.
unspent.
Right.
So the expenses will go up so you're saying that the difference is gonna be about 149,000? Is that what you're?
The difference is actually going to, the contract had a purchase order of about 198,000 total. And we believe we're going to end up somewhere in the neighborhood of 112, 120,000 that will have been spent. We think the rest will be left over. The amount that is in for the budget amendments for 6 months of service provided by our staff. And so it's pricier than what had a contractor do it, but the quality of the service is much higher.
So we're gonna have approximately $50,000-$60,000 left in that account.
Right.
But how much are we going to add by bringing it in-house? I agree that we need better service, but I just want to know.
Well, it's much higher. I mean, just to give you an example, this is the first place I've ever worked where on a weekly basis I'd have to call and make sure there are paper towels in the men's room. That may seem like a small thing, but I shouldn't have to do that in my position. That should just be done. with having service, just much higher quality of service.
Well, when I worked at Hurley, we went 8 months without housekeeping in the school and nursing, in the finance department. So I brought my own, I was cleaning my own bathrooms and taking care of my own garbage, so I get that.
Yeah.
So, but like I still, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and vote to approve this. Because I do think we do need better service, but I really would like just a better accountability as to how much money it's going to cost over.
For the full year, we're anticipating a cost of around $300,000 to bring it in-house.
For the remainder of the year?
No, about $149,000.
Okay, so this is for the remainder of the year versus,
For 6 months, it's about $149,000.
okay, and that's not taking into consideration the 50,000, that's, all
That's
right.
correct.
That's what my question was all along, was I just needed to know where that money was gonna,
Yeah,
we're just gonna sit there, we're increasing the budget, but we're not gonna spend it.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, this is a question for Mr. Smith. That's it right here.
We gonna keep working.
Where?
Mr. Smith.
We gonna run.
Hey.
Will you come up to the front?
Big ball.
Top.
That's okay.
There you go.
That quick little nod, so I'm trying to approach it. You might get that power now. How many custodians are you hiring, and do you have a job description for them? And how many are in that department?
Oh, lifetime.
Can't give you numbers. Exactly, I can check with I don't have that with me.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Moore, do you know how many?
Somebody go get the mayor. I was in high school with you.
5 or 6 people.
So our 5 or 6, I know they have like 4 part-time employee, like part-time. I think we only had 2 before. So how many have we
This
hired?
includes this building, but also the 12th Street building.
Yeah.
All the,
That's crazy.
Road.
So are they at their own buildings, or are they, or do they go to different buildings? Or do we have a custodian for each building? Or do we, or are they travel to each city property?
We have, for this building, we have a crew that will take care of this building.
And how many are in that crew?
I believe there it's either 2 or 3, I'm not 100% sure. They will stay in this building, and then over, I'm not sure how that schedule exactly works, but they're rotating through all the different buildings so that all the custodians are familiar with how to take care of each building that we have.
Now, are these full-time employees, and are we offering them a benefits package?
Full-time employees.
Full-time, are they union?
Yes.
We get the mic down.
Yes, they are?
Yes.
Okay, and so what was the price of the contract that we used before?
For the year, it was about $198,000.
So we're going up 102,000, because you just stated that it's gonna cost approximately 300,000. The remainder is what you're adding, is 149,000. So we're adding 102,000. And how many, do we know how many people did they have clean, with that contract?
I think they're still hiring, so, I'm not sure the total.
I'm talking about the prior, we had the contract, because we're increasing our general fund budget to pay for, it's been contracted out for a long time.
I'm not sure the exact number, because the people seem to change on a pretty regular basis. And I would see the people that would be cleaning my office, but I wouldn't necessarily see who's cleaning the rest of the building or police department or other places.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to know how many people that we do have that are being employed, how many are employed, what buildings that are they, rotating. It would seem to me, if the city property, they would have to rotate the building maintenance. And does Lee Osborne, is his salary in here? Because I think he may make more than anybody in the city of Flint. I mean, his wage is about, with all the hours he was picking up, he was making about $140,000, $50,000.
I'm not sure there's total salary, I can get that information.
Yeah, I would like to have it, please. Because if his salary has been over 100,000, so this would be a good portion, and we're saying 300,000, that can't include Lee Osborne's in here.
That's not from this salary.
That, okay, so we need to find out his salary. I will not be voting to approve this until we find out exactly how many people, what is the Osborne's salary, and how many people, and I would like to see a job description, and what is their starting pay for this job?
There it is.
We can get that information.
Can we get that? Do I need to send you an email?
Which one of y'all guys share with them Paco bags anyway?
I'll send an email, detail. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Any other discussion, first round? Any other discussion, first round? Any? Go ahead, Mr.
I'm glad to see that, we bring back jobs back in-house and union, jobs. So, I was just for our history and our support.
Crazy.
We don't get fired. I'm supporting this idea.
I heard you say that bullshit too.
Or whatever sent to us about the contract being canceled out of the company that was claiming that phone back there for me ain't always been the best. Not complaining to the thing about it, and I think she dealt with it and took care of it a little better. Hopefully, whatever we do with this cleaning contract, we'll have somebody in here that's going to actually really do their job.
Thank you. Any other discussion, second round? Seeing none, this is the vote to send 240003, the second quarter budget amendment to council. Yeah.
Oh, you ain't up to hook yet, fellas.
This is the vote to send to council.
Don't drop the marbles. What are y'all carrying the marble back?
Ms. Michelle?
Yes.
The diamonds. Same
Ms.
thing.
Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes and 0 no. That resolution will be sent to council. The next resolution is 230445. Is there?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I would like to move 230445, 230462, 230463, and 230470. I would like to keep this in finance.
Could you repeat those resolutions, please?
Sure.
230445,
And
230
462,
462,
230463,
463,
and 230470.
470.
Yes, keep those in finance.
Is there support? Support. Okay, is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, so just want to make sure that we stay in line with what the council said that we want to do. So we want to make sure that we get financing in line before we move on to other categories. So we will, I will have to leave this here in finance. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr.
Thank you. So, I'll support moving this back to finance. And I know my colleague talked about, the council, voting on different categories. But what we have not been doing, and I understand what you're trying to do, we haven't been just voting on our funds in categories. We've been kind of cherry picking and voting on what we want to happen and when it comes down to our funds. So now that we starting today, I guess, moving stuff back because of, we want to do different categories. What I'm gonna have a concern with, I know I put the resolution together for $150,000 for those families with the 190 homes that got taken from however that process was done. So therefore, if we put together a resolution for $150,000 to help those families, and we ain't got to that category, and we don't get to that category until whenever, you know, because getting to other categories has not seemed like it has been the process. And I understand what you're doing, it makes sense. But we've been cherry picking how we've been approving our funds. So now we need to go with the categories, and I'm not sure that that's going to work. But what I would like to do is let us do a 30-day or 60-day trial on the categories. Because if it ain't working, the stuff ain't coming to us dealing with those categories, that's going to be even a longer process for people to be able to get some help instead of dealing with priorities. Meeting after meeting after meeting, we have heard people come here and talk about wanting to add $16 million with home improvements. We approved 4.5, I believe, for Metro Community Development. I think GCAR got some money, and I believe Habitat got some money, $1.5 million. I'm receiving text messages that people from my constituents that they have put in applications and they still waiting on the $15,000, and that whole process has been jacked up.
Yes.
So for us to be dealing with categories, and then we ain't going to deal with the categories in which we approve, we need to figure out what's going on with the money that we did approve for the housing and people getting their house rehab, because that whole process is flawed. What? And I just think we need to address that situation, even with the money we approved. So I support this, but I ain't down with it.
What?
Any other discussion? Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
I would not be supporting this. One reason, we don't have our funds anymore, it's down to the general fund. It's the general fund. So if it is posted on here as our, it's not our, so it's not even properly formatted for us to even spend it. That money is moved over to the general fund. It is on here, and I believe our other resolution, it still states our, we went through this last meeting. So I will not, some of the things we need to get taken care of, there has been no order, we've been all over the place. And we're not gonna start order today. We're not, I'm not.
I mean, I think they more.
And so for me, it's not properly formatted. There is no ARPA category anymore. You Madam Chair, to Mr. Moore. I know, Mr. Moore, you may have to stay there when we talking about money. I appreciate you being here. I do. So what fund will these monies come out of when we don't have ARPA anymore? What would be the proper category that it should be in?
Trying to get to the same organization.
The funds are currently in the general
Okay, so should it stay on our agendas, the general fund, and not ARPA? Because these are all stating ARPA funds increased, and we don't have ARPA funds anymore. I know what you need. Go ahead.
I'm not sure how the ARPA funds have been moved. We're planning to use the ARPA fund. Plan has always been to use these funds for this purpose. So.
But it's not under ARPA anymore. It would come out of our general fund. So with that part, this needs to go back to be correct. Everything that is on our agendas that are coming to us that says ARPA needs to be removed, and we need to state it properly that it's if we're taking or removing funds, it needs to be stated from which fund that it's coming from, because ARPA doesn't exist anymore. So because it doesn't exist, it is obsolete, and those funds have been moved. We need to make sure we know which account that is coming off of, and we need to know the name And that to me is important. So I will not be supporting this. And I am in agreement with Councilman Murphy that when we talk about when it comes to order, we have been all over the place since this started, because I think out the gate when we started, we supported police and workers. That was out of order. It's things that we thought that the prior council should have taken care of in our first 6 months that we used for our hazard pay. So I will not be supporting this.
No, that's right.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? I see none. I will take my time. Dr. Lewis and I have been pushing the administration very hard to get these resolutions out. You are right, Ms. Burns, those account numbers are incorrect on these resolutions. So they should not be approved just based on that without amending. So, I'm going to make a substitute motion that we drop indefinitely because of account numbers 230445, 230462, 230463, 230470. Those are the same ones in this motion. So my motion is to drop indefinitely for correction.
Drop it indefinitely. We just approved, if I'm not mistaken, we changed the account number. We didn't just approve. We just approved something and we took a recess and they changed the account number on that particular one. So we cherry picked it. Yes. Resolution, because the account numbers ain't the same today, but last week we just approved the same resolution and we just changed the account number. Now I'm going to drop it. So which one is it? We can't be doing both. We got to stick to one or the other. And I don't mind moving this back, but it's some double standards that we're doing. So I'm not sure if I want to vote to drop this indefinitely because we just approved it when we recessed to change only the account number for something. I'm not sure what it was. I can't, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't remember. Human resources software. Thank you very much. You know,
That's what they do.
Well, I don't agree with that. And because of that, I won't be voting to drop this indefinitely.
Yeah.
I'll move that to finance and somewhere else.
Other time,
But I'm not going to
following their
double standard stuff.
Ms. Lewis, what
pretty much.
Madam Chair. And I can agree with that. I certainly know that they came on board with those amendments to change the West Island issue to where how it was formatted. This item is the same thing. And so we should not be receiving anything that says ARPA doesn't exist. That is now into the general fund. And it was for 15 minutes to get it. We need to make sure that the states is coming out for fund, it needs to come out of general, it needs to come out of general fund. We don't have ARPA in the rest, we can understand. We don't have ARPA. Our guidelines have been removed because it's now general fund. It is not there anymore. So we don't have specific categories anymore. It's general fund. So it has nothing to do with ARPA at this point. You know, 5 people voted to move this to general fund, and it's been done. It's done. So anything voted out of order doesn't matter anymore. It's general fund. And so now that we are in general fund, as the resolutions come up, then we have to vote them up, vote them down, however we want to vote. And that would include an abstention. If you give your reason why you are abstaining, because you don't agree with the process.
Well,
And in our book, it states that abstention is a vote. You explain, it states section D. So anything coming up for ARPA, I think we need to be careful. To you, Madam Chair, to the clerk, Davina, if we're getting these before they're coming out, we need to start making sure that, because that's going to have an incorrect account number if it's stating ARPA funds, because that's obsolete now. So I don't know if we have anything else that's coming.
obsolete.
I'm sorry, I think most of these were, before that time, they were not there for a while, so.
Yeah, they've been on here, yeah, for a while. So there is no sequential order anymore. It doesn't matter. They bring them up, we vote them up, vote them down. We don't have to, we weren't voting in order in the beginning in the first place. So there is no more ARPA. As these are, the administration should reformat these with the proper accounts. And then we will go over the members with the Ernst & Young, the ARPA funds allocation for the Flint, reinvestment market for $300,000, small business grant for $500,000. And so all of these ARPA for increased food, Flint fresh mobile, there is no ARPA. So we gotta change it. So I will be supporting for this. I think Councilman Murphy stated to send it back to committee, which will give this administration an opportunity to correct this. Mr. Moore shaking his head, so we're on the same.
That'll work.
Okay, that'll work. Okay, so then we're good. So then I'm gonna be voting to send it back to committee. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Dr. Lewis.
Thank you. Order is always the time for order. They can start off from chaos, but as long as order is achieved, that's the goal. And so although this process, it started off a little disorderly, right now we're getting under control, we're getting ordered with this process. So I definitely will not apologize or backtrack the fact that we're trying to make sure that we make sure that every person that applied for ARPA, that they receive either funding or a response stating that they're not going to receive funds. That's order, and that's only right. And so going forward, it is the goal of the ARPA Ad Hoc Committee to make sure that we handle every single category in its entirety. So in gap financing, either we're going to look through everyone that applied, because we had colleagues stating that we had colleagues that sued because they didn't like the recommendations from the the community committee. And so what this body decided that we were going to do, we were taking all recommendations from administration as well as the community. And then from there, we were going to look at everyone who they selected and who they did not select. And we were going to make decisions accordingly. From there, we're going to send out letters to everyone stating that you are receiving ARPA funding or you were denied. That is the goal moving forward. So no one will be in the dark about what's going on. It's always a time for order. And today, we're going to have order. So I don't know who is against that, making sure that everyone is in the know, because that was the problem in the first place. It was a little chaotic. So as we move forward, and as we complete the gap financing categories, and as we complete the Black category, we're going to move on to other categories so we can make sure that we keep tabs on how much money we have per allocated category, and so we can make sure that this is done in a fair and equitable way. That's the goal. So in terms of we didn't start in order, you are absolutely correct. But when we end in order, you are absolutely correct. We will end in order. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll take my time. I'll go ahead to keep it in finance. I was just trying to get it so that it can be corrected easily and quicker. rather than stopping and changing account numbers and all this other stuff. Because there are other resolutions that will be coming forward to our next finance committee. They will be coming. Either they are brought by administration or they will be brought by our ad hoc committee. Because we are tired of the delay of bringing forth these resolutions. It's been months since the committee finished its work. It's been 9 months since these organizations have applied for funds. Let's get these monies out. Let's get them done so that we know what money we have available left, so that we can move it around within our plan. We know there's more money needed in over here. We know that. We got as much as we could in there to begin with, knowing that there would be changes. But until these are done, we can't move money. So we will be bringing forward more resolutions, and they'll be prepared, because if you guys don't get it to me by council or by a week from today, I will be preparing them and sending them to you to put account numbers on them, or asking you for account numbers. They will be on the next finance committee. Thank you. This is the vote to drop indefinitely resolutions 230445, 230462, 230463, 230470.
Ms. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy.
No.
Ms. Priestley.
No.
Ms. Burns.
No.
Ms. Shad.
Yes.
Vote 2 yes, 3 no.
The vote is 3 yes, repeat that again.
2 yes, 3
2 yes and 3 no. So that motion fails. This is not a vote, and this is the vote to keep in finance those same resolutions. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Ms. Priestley.
Yes.
Ms. Burns.
Yes.
Ms. Shad.
No.
Ms. Lewis.
Yes.
Vote 4 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 4 yes, 1 no. That motion failed. Is there any other motion on this?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I vote to send it to council.
There's a motion on the floor to send to council. Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly seconded to send to council. This is 2 rounds of 5 minutes. Anyone would like to speak on this motion?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
this really needs to be, we have had an agreement, and we have spoken, we've got the administration here. We know that there needs to be work done on it. And Mr. Moore did state, gave the thumbs up and nodded his head that in agreement, these accounts, he would have them changed. So voting it to council is just stay in committee. I'm just not understanding some of this. Yeah, I'm just not, because it's gonna end up just dying. You know, and so they're willing to have it die when you're trying to make a point that's fruitless. I mean, we do know that it states our vote, we don't have our vote anymore. And we talked about the formatting before in our last meeting on the 8th, which was an issue. And as we try to do them, we want to make sure that they are right. Having it in committee allows that time. And I would say, I think in this one that's on here, we had the North Flint Food Market reach out to members. And that there were questions about, they did not, well, I thought they were going to get, they wanted 1.5 million. And it was stated that they needed leverage funds, which was 300,000 and not 1.5. So clarity was given to open up that market. I thought 1.5, and I had a whole lot of questions. How much is it going to take to get this market open? And so that was a long conversation. So with that, I mean, we didn't willing to let it die other than sending it back to committee. You know, I thought there was a consensus to let it go back to committee, but forcing my hand to do it, this ain't public plan with the people. You know, it needs to be a committee, we said the majority. And we're looking at, we know that all of these resolutions, which are on here, are not formatted correctly. The city code hasn't even stated. So, I mean, if we vote it up, I'm not sending it to council. I'm not doing that. It was very clear, we've had this conversation, so if it dies, then I think, you know, it dies. You know, but it needs to be back, and then not just this one, it's several of them. And I think allowing them the time, when you have the administration who's in agreement and nodding and saying yes, in a posted, properly open and transparent meeting, I think that there's an agreement with the majority that is able to be here. So if this is the public plan, if this is, you know, resolution, they're gonna die. You know, because they should stay in committee, and that is our normal process. And so I guess, I don't know how we're gonna bring it back, but I guess we'll have to see. Maybe we can bring it back and send that to home here. Yeah, so I'm not understanding. We have to make sure that even in the midst of not agreeing or the personalities that this business, I'm looking at this, the Flint market here was saying that they would be able to get it open, I think in April is what he was saying. And that I believe Mott was going to, they had to leverage funds. And so the 1.2 million would be leveraged from other places. And that they were only requesting, we have given them $0 of our dollars for that food market. Right. We have given them anything. I mean, and when we look at markets, food markets and neighborhoods, and the Myers isn't there, Kroger's, you know, it is way down. They don't have one Kroger's in the city of Flint, and that's what Richfield Road, and that's on the east side. And so, grocery stores proper, which are being within our cities, we just don't have. And so, this is a lot of money. I didn't even add it all up. Yeah, with a calculator. This is over $1 million something that will die, and I guess they have to figure it out. So this should stay in committee so that the work has been done. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you. So some of these resolutions, for example, let's use Armstrong Young management for our funds. We couldn't give them some additional dollars. They the overseers of the opera. Make sure we dot the I's and cross the T's. And you didn't tell me they can't work with the administration to make sure that the account numbers are proper. And we done gave them all that much money to oversee it. At least y'all can do is when y'all resolutions come and get prepared to the council, y'all at least have the numbers right. The resolution 230462, ARPA funds for small business grants, local initiative support corporation. When I saw this resolution on the agenda, I was reaching out to businesses in my ward, especially on West Saginaw Street, that's very distressed, and on the east side, on Lewis Street. Just let them know it's a possibility that some small business grants is coming through city council. And I'm watching and following it, and when it get to the point where it's going to the different I'm gonna make sure that I connect y'all together, because they've been waiting to try to get some money to help their businesses for a long time. So while we playing around that we only want to do categories over categories, these businesses that had to shut down, just for instance, the tire shop on Stewart and Saginaw had to shut down during COVID, so they lost money. So when they lost money, maybe they're trying to get some money back so that they can try to improve their business. I know a barber shop across the street trying to do some things, and there's some people down the street on Allen and Saginaw trying to do something. And in my ward, and in my corridor on Saginaw is really distressed when it comes down to businesses not being able to get some money. So while we going back and forth and we talking about we want to go based on categories, this makes the businesses that's trying to strive still have to suffer, because they got to go through the politics of what we're dealing with, because we don't want to go and help them when it's on the resolution right now. You got the Flint food market on Pearson and Claudio that's at the end of getting ready to open, and they may have some money. You just don't know what they done had to go for. When I had a conversation with them about why they want this, I asked a whole bunch of questions. Well, why y'all this? Why y'all need more money when y'all got all this? When they cleared that up, I understood. Here they is getting ready to open, or trying to open in April or May. Do y'all know, even when we have passed these resolutions at City Council, by the time administration get the final thing, they go to the organization, it may be April or May by the time the organization actually see a contract in place, because they got to get a contract together. You got to make sure you don't owe no taxes. You got to make sure you got this. You got to make sure you got this. I just have followed the process of those who have received our funds, and it takes so long. So even if we vote now, they still ain't going to see no money until probably 3 or 4 months from now. Because by the time the resolution in the city council and the clerk gets them the resolution and all that different stuff, they still ain't going to be able to get done. They still got to get the contract together. They still got to investigate the organization. Make sure y'all owe money. It's just a whole bunch of red tape. And I'm saying, while we hold stuff up, it's holding businesses up or whatever up for being able to move forward. Now, some of these things I already know. Personally, y'all give some additional dollars. Y'all can't even get the council right. I ain't down with that. And I know we have gave the food markets and community development block right now, but we done gave them no kind of money when it comes out to our dollars. And we done gave Greater Holy Temple some money. We done gave Bethel United. We done gave I remember we tried to give St. Mark's some money, and I don't even think we gave them some money. So I'm just saying, we need to spread the wealth. Yeah. We need to make sure that we can just give it to certain people, and then when they came down here for some more money, they can get it to them.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
So, I want to clear some misinformation. These are not dead, because they can come back, correct? The following week, or whenever they bring them back, with the correct account numbers, which means it's changed, which means it doesn't have to wait 30 days. The issue is whether you leave it here now, or whether you send it wherever the account number on the resolution still has to change. That's not gonna change. So, what you were doing was correct, Madam Chair, and just killing them all, because they have to come back with the correct account number for us to even be able to do anything with them. So there's no point in trying to move it to council or leaving it in committee, because all you have to do is make the amendment anyway. So just have them send them back the correct way. That's it. You keep saying you want the administration to respect us, respect our stance as council, but then when it is time to actually get that respect, it's just leave it here and we'll make an amendment. We shouldn't have to amend what we've already asked for. Send it down here correctly with the correct account numbers. It's not that hard. That's all that has to be done. That's all that has to be done.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any other discussion?
Madam,
Go ahead.
thank you. So just want to address what the colleague in the third ward said. Yeah, I've also been told that individuals that have been awarded funds that they have not received the funding. That's true. I heard that. But again, when do we stand up and take charge of this process? This is the point. This is why we're saying let's categorically do it. And then so we can follow the categories. So we can make sure that we have our finger and our eyes on the money to make sure things are flowing down the pipeline correctly. Again, we must have order, and this is the whole point of us doing this. Now, like I said, we can definitely send this. I would have been fine with dying. I would have been fine with it staying in finance, because I'm not going to go for it. I'm not going to approve it in council. Like just full disclosure. Not. Because we need to make sure that we are doing things in order. And unfortunately, this is not in order. I'm not going to beat a dead horse with the same spiel. But, you know, like I said, we do have honestly Indiana here for the management of the ARPA funds. And we have to have a discussion about their role in the process, because I want our Ernst & Young to send out letters to those that have not received, that are not going to receive ARPA funding. I want to see exactly what we are going to pay them these fees to do. And so, but we're not ready to visit that yet, because you know why? We have innovative solutions waiting on us. We have Safe and Just waiting on us. We have the Southside Coalition waiting on us. They are waiting for answers about their applications in gap financing and block. So I don't want to keep pushing the people that actually applied for the money back. I want to make sure that we get them and then we handle them accordingly. So we make sure that we pay, that we vote it up or down, and then we make sure that they are able to get their money in a timely fashion. To my knowledge, we have this money in our account since May 2021.
Yep.
It is, I wasn't on council then, but now it's January 2024. Can't say we don't have it, what are we waiting on? And so that's why this council needs to work together instead of spitting venom from our seats. So we all can keep an eye and tab on what's happening. So we can make sure that this money is going forward. This is the point. So again, I don't care what happens to these 4 resolutions. We can always bring it back, and when we bring it back, we can bring it back correct. All right, so that is it. We are spending more time on this than need be. And I'll now let you.
Any other discussion? In the first round, yes, ma'am. Any other discussion? Seeing none, second round.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
did you total these up?
No, I didn't.
Okay, if you can calculate, see if you and our calculations are the same. I would greatly appreciate it. Truly, I would.
I hate this computer right there. I need 10 keys.
So, I do want to say this, is as these two come up, and we talk about the order that ARPA has come up, and the order that they come up, we got 2 council members who send up their resolutions with nonprofits they are affiliated with. What is about that? Can you please call her to order, please, if she's talking, Madam Chair?
Please.
Point of order.
What?
Yes. Yeah, that is untrue. And again, when she's talking, I'm speaking. Can I get it out?
Let her finish your point, please.
And the council from the 6th ward is speaking to people's motives that are untrue.
Okay, Madam Chair, can you warn her, because I didn't even finish, there was a resolution that came up for Cyrus Park. It came up, that order that came up, Cyrus Park was originated in August of 2021 by the.
Request for information. Request for information. My request is, could you please show us proof that Liddell Lewis sent this up?
You want me to show you again your articles of
No,
incorporation?
no.
First name and last name.
I want you to see proof that Liddell Lewis sent this up.
Madam Chair, So if I get back to, and she sees it, she knows it, and she was the president and director and changed it in September. That's been brought to our attention. So we look at the order that they've been brought up, resolution, and Candace Michelle saying what? She's got to know. Now, the whole night she's been over here talking, calling me a demon and a devil and lies and talking underneath her breath. This is what she does. You know, and I'm ignoring her action because it's very immature. When we look at order, we say talk about order. We should have took care of the residents first. We should have took care of the residents. And I believe
788,025.
Yeah, so 1,788,000. And so this is the amount that whatever happens, we're talking about order. These should have came before council members. Not saying that they're, they may have, what they're doing in their neighborhood, but they did disclose them to council in a proper form. It was brought up and discussed on the floor, but not to where it should have been.
No.
And Councilman Lewis sits on the ad hoc committee.
Oh,
We should have known that. So I want to take care of it, and I'm glad, and I'm listening to Councilman Murphy saying things are brought to fruition and clarity. I needed clarity on that North Flint food market, because that had been all over the place. It really had, but the conversation was a good conversation. And there's a lot of talk that has been out there, and how much this market has cost. It would have been more beneficial to erect a new one as opposed to remodeling the existing building. But we're not at that point anymore. We're now at the point of getting food on the shelves and opening up to have a place for residents where there's a food desert.
there you go.
So we're not at that place anymore. This has been all over the place. The popcorn popper, a pineapple slicer, all kind of different things.
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to, if be stated, when they talk about order, that to me, we should take care of the residents. We've seen, and it was brought to us by surprise by some of these resolutions. They just start. So I will not be supporting to send this to council, and because it is my decision to do what I want to do. And I'm not. I don't appreciate it. We should have sent it to committee, and we were pretty much in agreement, to make sure that it would go to committee. And I'm not going to have my hand forced to do something. I'm just not doing it. Especially when I'm looking at some of the people who got resolutions that they are affiliated with for 300,000, 50,000, and didn't disclose it. I'm absolutely not doing it. So that to me is a problem. And so taking care of, I would like to see that. And yes, I am probably supporting that food market at this point. So as much as people are out there, and also the small business, you are correct. Small business, mom and pop businesses, I'm suffering without business. They are still struggling. They are still struggling. Even the Don Donuts, that friends of mine, I go up there to volunteer to work for free. Because employees, they can't afford to pay employees. And it's hard to get staff. So yes, you may see me at the window or the drive-through helping my friends out because I support small business. I support small business, and I would like to see small business. They need help, like that tire shop. And that's not the only tire shop in our business. It's another one. I think White Road had one, or was it two? So when I talk about small business, we have to support. I would like to see the small business get. They got to figure out how to bring it back in some creative way. But I'm not supporting it in this form.
Any other discussion in the second round?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. So sending this to council, actually means that we are going to vote this up or down once we get to council. What we can do is we can send it to council, because we done already tried two things. We tried to drop them indefinitely. We tried to send them to finance. Now we on the last one to send it to council. And if we send it to council, once we get to council, we also can still separate these at council and send it back to the committee that we wanted on. So sending it to council don't necessarily mean that, we voted yes once it get to council. Just to be clear to my colleagues, sending this to council don't mean it's a yes to support this. But my thing is, should we hold up the resolution 230462, ARPA funds for small businesses, grants, local initiatives, support corporation? That's dear to my heart. With the Flint Reinvestment Corporation, even if it goes to council, I'm supporting it just for the record. But if we don't have the votes, or y'all got some questions, and I know he have offered for those who had questions to reach out and ask them questions dealing with the Flint food market. I just don't want to see some of these resolutions that should be moving forward to die because they're not in the category that we want. So if we don't want to support small businesses right now, when is small businesses coming up in the category? In July, August, September, October, November, there's no time frame. And I would like for the ad hoc committee or the president and the vice president to bring us a time frame when they're projecting that we should be dealing with categories. Because if we go kick the can down the road when it comes down to dealing with categories, ain't no telling when the category coming up to talk about small businesses. And let me also be clear when it comes down to we haven't exhausted the funds for life or other categories that we need to get done. If we're not done with that, and we still got some money in that category, let's reserve that money that's left in that category and let's try to move into home improvement, because we know that we need some extra money in home improvement. $5 million ain't enough. I think we should also bring Metro Community Development, Habitat for Humanity, and GCAR, all those agencies that we have gave money to. I think we ought to bring them to council and see what if the HE stick is going on with why residents who put in applications or can't put in no application or try to put in an application or call and can't get an answer. I tried to call today, Metro Community Development, and all I got was a go to voicemail or go to push this number and they ain't in and all of that. We don't want to talk to no answer machine.
No, that's right.
So I'm forcing this council. Once we send it to council, y'all do like we always have been doing historically, is separate these resolutions that y'all don't like and send it back to finance and be done.
I know Metro don't do it.
But I ain't going to hold on these people hostage.
Talk about giving money to small businesses. All they do is hire the kids.
Yes.
You can't put those numbers up. You're going to hire 400 people. You don't get no money.
So I think my colleague misunderstands. Again, all of these are incorrect because of the account numbers. So this is not about, go ahead. Yeah.
Why do you tell you gas Arabs in there?
To the speaker, do you know that it was an account wasn't right last week and all we did was reset and change the account?
There you go, Mr. Murphy. There you go.
Like that. Why are you just throwing fucking money out?
Yeah, but we're not, there was no proposal to do that down this evening for these. So because that's not what was proposed, I'm voting based off of what was proposed. And so because these account numbers are wrong, and you're gonna have to stop and pause, and they're still gonna be on hold anyway, you might as well just have them, they can literally send these back down then, and we can vote them up or vote them down. But the bottom line is the numbers still have to be changed before we can even vote on the resolution. So they might as well just give us the resolutions correctly. It's really that simple for me. I hear your point about, the categories, and I also hear your point about some people, it's a bit more time sensitive and it's a bit more pressing. With your, resolution that you introduced when you were talking about the homes, right, that were sold from about 31, that's time sensitive. So that would be something that we would handle because it is time sensitive. And as far as, are we kicking the can down the road, how long is that gonna take? That's not solely on 1 or 2 people, that's on 9 people to sit here and stay focused. When we're talking about an agenda item, talk about that agenda item and not all this other stuff, not call names, not call people juvenile or anything like that when you're unprofessional, can't even focus on the agenda item. And so it's not like it has to take till July. We can easily get this done if we actually voted and did what we were supposed to do. That's literally where it is. Everything takes forever because of unnecessary arguments and unnecessary points being made that have nothing to do with the agenda item. So the answer to your question of, is that gonna be June, July, or whatever, that's up to the council to decide. Are they gonna be professional in that moment and only focus on agenda items? It doesn't have to be held up. This doesn't have to take forever. The only issue I have with this stuff now is the account numbers are wrong. The resolutions have to be changed anyway. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Wow.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Seeing none, this is the vote to send this, for resolutions to council. 230445, 230462, 230463, and 230470.
We up here in Flint, we've been dealing with shit for 3-4 years and still can't spend $1.
How did he do that?
I don't know, that's what they say on the news. And rezoning, you know, to try to be fair with black people. You know, they're trying to move the vote to certain areas.
Ms. Priestley?
No.
Check that out.
3 hours.
Yeah.
No.
They can't spend money.
Ms. Michelle?
No.
Ms. Lewis?
Yeah, she talking conversation.
Ms. Gordon?
Yes.
The vote is 2 yes, 3 no?
The vote is 2 yes, 3 no. That motion fails.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
It's funny.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Never mind, I will look for
But you know what the truth come down to? If you don't
Madam
spend
Chair,
This is your first meeting.
I would like to
Deal later.
240-000.
Good job.
Assistance to city of Flint residents, foreclosure, and possible eviction to council.
There's a motion on the floor to send 230000 to council. We missed some resolution.
Yeah.
You skipped resolutions 230479, 230480, and 230477. Yeah.
So what's the information?
There was no second, so you can change it. Yes, go ahead.
No question. So with the ones that were just bundled, so they just died, they don't consider them separately?
At this point, you can always consider it separately. That's the motion. Was to bundle.
So we'll just let them die, that's what we, okay, sounds good.
Okay, so the next resolution would be 230477. No, we didn't separate that, sorry, it's not your vote. So sorry. I got it written down at the bottom of the page. 230479.
I would like to move, 230479, contract with asphalt and servicing of the city property. 230479 to council.
There's a motion on the floor to send resolution 230479 to council. Been moved and properly seconded. Who made this?
You know, baby.
Dr. Lewis, okay. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
This resolution, is there anyone from administration that can speak on this resolution here? The 230479, the contract for asphalt resurfacing the city parking lots. I think who adopted Ophelia Bonner Park reached out to me and made me be aware, and I appreciate all the work that she do over there at Ophelia Bonner Park. But Ophelia Bonner Park parking lot is jacked up to the, I'm all the way jacked up. The sewer is not in this contract for the asphalt resurfacing of the parking lots. And I don't want to really approve this resolution without Ophelia Bonner Park being added on it. And I know Royale Park is wrapped and it's highly used. And I'm trying to see, is there something that the administration, you, I know you know how to make money because you did it before. Is there something that you guys can do to add those into?
Point of information. I'd like you to read the description of this. It's parking lot improvements for Clara Fillmore, Ophelia Bonner Park, Cook, and Durant Parks.
Also, they added. Thank you for that clear.
Didn't the governor say fix the damn roads? That's what she ran on when she became governor. They want to fix the fucking parking lots.
Is there a possibility, now that I know Ophelia Bonner Park, that we can do something for road? Can we bring back some additional parking? They don't have a parking lot at all. They got a parking lot, but it's not a parking lot. And then I know when you go into Royale Park, it's like this.
So as far as funding, we don't set how much, we don't determine how much funding we have for neighborhood improvements for this budget line item. We just make do with, we have a list of parks, a list of parking lots that need improvement, and we select those parking lots based on the condition, and we try to, with this list, spread it out with, in between each board. So as far as budget, I mean, increasing the budget, that's a question for who's setting this budget.
That's a question for who?
Whoever is setting this budget.
Who said the budget? Could you have whoever said the budget, the finance director? Could you come? Thank you so much. And thank you guys for adding Ophelia Bonner Park, because the resolution that I did read prior to this one did not have Ophelia Bonner Park. So I see they added it on here, so I appreciate that. And thank you for all the work that you do. Yes, Royale Park is a heavily used park. They both are gravel driveways. And when you go in, it's like this little, from the street to the parking lot, it's kind of like a, I don't call it, what kind of, it's like a, your car jumps down a little bit. It's great if you got no car, it's great at the bottom. I think it's so important that we share wealth when it comes down to it. But is there any way you can find some unspent funds or some park village funds or some gap dollars and try to bring us a resolution to get that park done?
Where's this parking lot?
It's on, this is by Kersley Lake off of Western Road. It's called Royale Park. It's right across from the lake. It's heavily used. They got two small parking lots, but both of them are gravel.
Can I ask a question? I don't think I've ever been to that.
Excuse
I
me?
don't think I've ever been to that parking lot, so I'm not sure I can answer that question right now. But we have people on staff that are aware of it, or we can go out and look at it.
Let me send you an email to remind you
Okay,
about this, and you guys always bring amendments to budget, amending budgets to, council, so I would love to see that.
okay.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
These are still, our accounts. And, that is how our, I'm not here, my parks. So, so we are, how they figured out, not my problem at this point. You know, and we're going through these, I'm going through them even further. A lot of these are, so if it is attached to ARPA, Tanya Burns will not be voting on it because it's general fund. And we know it's been general fund for 3 weeks, a month now. And so if it's coming out of general fund, it needs to reflect general fund. I understand getting the parking lots done, and prior, and making my mind just stuck on home repair. People are not getting home repair. And I've called for residents. I've called down before them in Habitat for Humanity. You go to a voicemail, you're lucky to get someone. They used to say January, you know, the 3rd week or by the 1st of February. It's not even looking like that. We are just not how we're prioritizing. You know, some people, and I get worried about parking lot. Some of these people still got it raining, and if it rains, it get warm enough in their home. Or if it warms up and they got snow on their roof, which means they have water back in their home. We haven't, our money hasn't touched the residents yet. It has not touched them. And as I'm looking at some of these wish lists, what I think some of them are, a parking lot is great, but people who live in the house when it's raining, they care less about parking lot.
Thank you.
So, these wrong account numbers, I know we've talked about them, and I'm not going to admit, so my vote is going to be no for the not anything attached to our. So, sorry, Mr. Moore, that they can figure out how to get it wrapped up with a new account number. They know how to get it done. Have the right, they just have the right account number, which actually changes the resolution. Do it right, we bring it, and everyone should know. We talked about this a month ago when we went to the general fund. So I'm not putting anything from our on it. So that's my time.
These budget line items were approved at council, I believe, in November. These resolutions for the parking lots, the electrical upgrades, and also the boiler installation is for the city of Flint to enter into contract with these contractors. So this budget was for neighborhood improvement was already.
So it's part of the larger 900.
So these have already been approved.
Yes.
So these are also, this is just for them to spend the money, but our name is attached to it.
Wow. The question about revising the resolution.
What else can you do?
Go on.
Go on.
But I think the administration agrees with me that we should reword it so it does have the proper language in it now. And it's not, because it's the middle of winter, it's not.
Yeah, you can't do any parking lots right now anyway. Matter of fact, they can't get them clear with the ice that's on. So it's inclement weather. So I think that these need to be redid and brought back. No one's putting a parking lot in right now. So you have some time to get all these formatted. Now that they're all on the same page saying, hey, we need to take off our, because we're operating from general fund, have the correct account numbers, and then get it done. So my vote is still gonna be no. I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna kick it back so we get it done right. So sorry.
Any other discussion?
Madam
Go
Chair.
ahead, Ms. Dr. Lewis.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that I'm here while I'm here.
Oh, Lord.
So we already approved this when we were approving things, okay? And so this is so we can enter a contract and lock in rate.
Correct.
Okay, because if we continue to wait, go ahead.
We procured these items back in, I believe, September. We did the RFP process, and so the contractors, they have 90 days, and that 90 days is approaching before they can change the rate. So that rate can change.
Oh, so the rate will stand for 90 days?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so, again, I'm definitely in favor of either leaving this right here and the finance committee, is that the one? Okay. Yeah, so I definitely will entertain the motion to leave this here since we already approved it, and since you said it's locked in for 90 days.
Well, I'm sorry, that 90 days mark is approaching.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, I would like to make, I hope one of my colleagues makes an amended motion to send it to special affairs, because I'm confident that we'll be able to pass what we need to pass, very soon, and, we probably can just handle all this in the special affairs meeting. So, this is, yeah, and that's only if the vice president. Well, so, no, so Mr. Murphy, I don't remember what you mentioned. Okay, very well. So, I would like to make a motion to send resolution thank you, 230479 to special affairs.
There's a motion on the floor to send 230479 to special affairs. Is there support? Properly seconded. All right, we have around 3 minutes.
Okay, Madam.
Go ahead, Dr. Lewis.
All right, thank you. So thank the administration for being clear. The price of things are going up, the longer we wait, the more things go up. And, we are looking to have, the rest of these resolutions on the floor, very soon, looking at them to be on the floor, Monday. And so, I know I don't want to kick the can down the road, and we have to go through the entire, our process again. There's no need to do that. So hopefully my colleagues will support this going to special affairs, so we can handle get financing, like we can also, move on this before we have to spend more money out of pocket that we don't need to spend. Because people's prices are going up. So, yep, so that is where I stand on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr.
Thank you. So, when it comes down to parks and recreation, especially in the parks, it is really, nice to go to Dewey Park, where I'm familiar with, Royale Park, and to see the heavy traffic that those parks get in the summer. That's keeping people off the streets. We gotta come up with preventative measures to keep people off the street and keep them occupied. Yes, we need roofs on houses, and that, yes, homes are important, but it's a multitude of things in Flint that is important. And I know those who utilize the parks, they utilize them faithfully. A lot of people be like, I came from Dewey Park, I came from Jefferson Park, I came from Royale Park. It's near and dear to their heart, so they could be living in Grand Blanc, Swartz Creek, or Flushing, and they're coming to drive all the way to the park that they grew up in, because they probably came from that neighborhood. And I'm not saying, and I don't want to use comparisons of housing rehab, we need housing rehab, and that's what I keep hearing. Well, $20 million, in my opinion, ain't going to be enough. We need about $100 million, and we need to leverage what that looks like when it comes down to investing in housing. So when we're ready to talk about that, I got some ideas that I want to bring to the table. But I don't want to hold the other projects that we got going on in the city of Flint hostage, because we didn't allocate enough money for housing rehab. And then these contracts for these parks and moving these contracts, this is going to move this stuff forward so they can get to work and get this stuff done. I'm done.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, I will take my time. One of the concerns is the account number, but this was approved before the movement of the monies to general fund. So it was with the resolution that was approved on November 17th for $1.3 million. Is this account number still valid? So it was already allocated.
It's been a while since I've looked at it. I'm not sure that it is. I think I need some time to look at it and determine that it's correct or not.
Okay, because I know that that money was not included in the resolution to move the money to general fund. That was already taken out.
It's already been approved and authorized. Then we don't have, then the account numbers are still good.
So the account number is good. So there's nothing wrong with this. We just need to approve these resolutions for the city parks because we approved them and the money is not moved to general fund. Thank you.
I don't know, I'm not familiar enough with this particular resolution. I just got the resolution, agenda packet, just before the meeting, so I haven't had a chance to do everything related to it.
Okay, yeah, because, I mean, the money was allocated already out of the budget, so it was considered expended.
If it was allocated, then, okay.
So we're good with the account number, there's nothing wrong with it, the money's been approved, we're just entering into the contract. Got it. Thank you very much. And that is up for the other resolutions for parks, correct? So that's for the bollards and the electric. Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it. All right.
Yeah, translation.
So now this is the vote to send to special affairs. Roll call.
That's where the doctor over there at Early's, that made the Flint and water,
No.
$1,500 like $1,000 a month to help him. When I was doing it, it was called child support. Now they want to give you money.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Oh, there's 2 yes, 3 no?
Vote is 2 yes, 3 no, that motion fails. Now we're going back to the original motion, of sending it to council. We've had one round of discussion with Mr. Murphy, Ms. Burns, and Dr. Lewis talking. Any other discussion? In the first round. Hearing none, second round.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Moore, so I'd like to give, so you just received this resolution.
I reviewed it earlier, but there wasn't a resolution that never went to the council. I did review it tonight, because I didn't have time. I got the agenda packet just before 5 o'clock and just review everything.
Yeah, I think
Point of information, it's noted that he's not.
They forgot to ask. What they get.
and then he's saying that he's just not going over this into the details of the council. And so we basically it's just the we've already questions. And when these resolutions come up here, when you get gifts, and I need to take a look at it. And I get it, it's guys, this is not only, you know, this is, I get what you're saying, but the other part is, you're still coming up to need work on and still being questioned. So, whatever each person feel what they want, that is their own personal decision for each council person. So, I get what you're saying, they want to move it, it was already to be expended. It's already been deducted from that account, which is the ARPA account, am I correct? But it hasn't been,
That's what we've been talking about here, and I'm saying it's already been allocated, then the account numbers are correct.
You said F has been allocated?
But I haven't had a chance to review yet to make sure that's the case, so.
That was just a point of information. That number that's, Ernst & Young and I work together, and my numbers that I provide to you guys in the spreadsheet, every time we update it, that was removed from the number. So it was the amount of money that's transferred was less this month.
So our CFO should have this.
I do have it, just that I got this just minutes before.
Oh, I get it, yeah, and I'm not trying to make you nervous at all, so until the color here correct, no vote's still gonna be no. And it's nothing to
Put our money, sir. We the people wanna know.
Yeah, you right there.
Okay, any other discussion in the second round? I'm gonna take some time on this again. The money has been allocated, this is just entering into the contract. And, I think, Mr. Moore, that, your lack of refreshing your memory of something that you already signed is gonna cause this resolution to pass. Thank you. This is the vote. Yes, Commissioner.
You're speaking to the motives, that's not what's stopping. That's speaking to motives, you're right through 43.2.
They allocated $50,000.
That happens.
Pocking the money out.
Quincy said, where you gonna do the training? The dope house. The training.
This is the vote to send resolution
The training keeps him back from overdose. He said, where they gonna give it to him at the dope house? Where they buying it at? It's open, you know, for that Norcan stick. It does work. Shit, we, you know, make $50,000 from training them. They came out better if they'd have bought necklaces and put Narcan. So when you get it, you know, it's there.
No.
I got that from Denver.
The vote is 4 yes, 1 no. We're taking a 5-minute recess without objection.
Oh, wait. Trying to make me get away with the money. Big pocket of the money. You and the mayor. Bring the mayor back with you. Gotta get to the bottom of this. Born in the USA.
What?
Hurry up on the road. America.
We take a recess.
That's Mrs. Lee's.
We're gonna do a round robin. What they got? Money.
You know, Fridays is, she make the food. You know,
Hey,
what's up, boy?
the city clerk.
Oh, what?
The city clerk, what's up?
Come on now. Let's go. You sure it's our son?
Yo, walking somebody in Walmart. I mean, he messaging you, man. The kitty guy talking to him. It's like Jack left that, like Will Smith did. On that truck. That's somebody else gone.
The last council.
You gotta be in his 40s. Oh, okay. Oh, I know it. As far as I found out that was his mommy. He said it?
Wow!
Yeah, because at first he was saying Barbie. And I'm like, man, I started looking at him. I was like, man, you related to Miss B? That's what yes. So that's why I didn't have to name her. He came. came in on some domestic violence. So he already been in the penitentiary 15 years already. So his record, sent that out. Yellow respect.
I'm trying to think what's the one that passed away? Yes, ma'am.
The gentleman behind you was hissing at me. So with Black Lives Matter, we need to address, this is what he sent to me also. He made himself a cowboy hero.
Don't run down. Don't let it go so fucking
It's
funny.
not funny, John.
What's funny to me?
Talk about you people.
You called me a racist and a liar.
Well, you did lie.
Well, I have no respect
I'm not
for you.
talking to
I
you.
find
I'm
you
not
despicable.
So this is what he's sending.
This is data to this.
This is what he's sending.
He's not an old man. You gotta respect your elders.
I mean,
Talk about you people. Man, keep your mess.
Yeah.